Today was an exciting day for Bravo. It was one of his favorite days of school. Today was physical education class. Bravo and his friends called it gym class. Well, because they were usually in the gym when they were playing. Bravo loved learning new sports and he loved the exercise that he got while playing in gym class. They were going to see Coach Patterton. He was such a good coach. All of the students liked playing sports and learning games from him. Some of the sports were new to the students, and they had never heard of them or played them before. But Coach was kind and understanding, and when it took students a few extra tries to understand how to play, he was right there to help them every step of the way. Bravo and his classmates gathered around Coach Patterton, excited to learn what their sport would be for this class. Would it be soccer or basketball, maybe even frisbee? They never knew what was in store for them when they were headed to gym class. The anticipation was almost as much fun as playing the sport itself. After everyone was listening with zero voices, the coach told them they would be playing pickleball. Coach showed them a bucket of balls, and it was really cool. And he showed them this racket. It looked like a tennis racket, but it was a bit smaller. Bravo had heard of pickleball, but had never played it. He was very excited. He couldn't wait to hear the rules and to play this new game for himself, just to see how much fun it was. Okay, everyone, head off to the locker room and put on your exercise clothes, said Coach. Then meet me right back here and we'll get started. In the locker room, Bravo could hear the boys talking about pickleball. Some of them were excited because they had played the game before and they knew how much fun it would be. Other boys were a bit nervous because they had never tried the game before and they weren't sure of the rules or if they would even be able to understand the instructions from Coach. Back out in the gym, everybody was ready to go. Coach explained the ball and the paddle that they would be using for their new sport. He let the students look at them and ask any questions they had and make any comments about how the paddle felt or what was different about the ball they were about to use. Coach asked the students, "Have any of you heard of pickleball before? Or have any of you ever played it?" Well, many of the students raised their hands, and Bravo was pleased to see that many of them did know what the game was, and some had even played before. Though there were still some students who did not raise their hands, and they looked a little bit nervous. A couple of the students raised their hands, and they shared fun times when they had been playing pickleball with others. Bravo even shared a time when he watched a high school pickleball game. He had so much fun watching the players and hearing the fans cheering, but he had never played the game himself, so he was really excited to learn. After everyone had a chance to share their stories, Coach explained, "Well, now it's time to listen to the rules of the game." So he had all of the students sit back down on the floor in a circle so he could explain the equipment and the rules. Okay, everyone, you see, pickleball, it's a lot like ping pong, a little bit like badminton, and maybe even some tennis all rolled into one game. You have a court the size of a badminton court, a smaller paddle, much like the one you use for ping pong, and the net is a lot like the one you use for tennis. As you can see here, Coach said, the ball is like a wiffle ball. You know, the one you use with your plastic bat, but this ball is softer and it's able to bounce. Does anyone have any questions? Coach asked. The students all shook their heads to show Coach that they were listening and that he had explained everything well enough for them to be ready to play. But as Coach told the class to gather around the net, some of the students went to the bleachers to sit down with worried looks on their faces. These were the students who were nervous to try a new sport. They had never done it before, and they weren't sure they were able to try. Bravo was worried, and he felt sad that some of his friends were not happy to learn pickleball. Bravo had an idea. "Hey, everyone," he said, "come on down here and join me on the floor. I just want to talk to you all." Well, Coach gave Bravo a high five fist pump because he knew that whatever Bravo was about to say was going to help those students overcome their fear, and then they could all start playing. Bravo continued, "Just because something is new and you've never tried it before," he said, "it doesn't mean that you can't do it or that it's too hard to learn. How about we all get up and just give it a try and show Coach that we're good sports and we want to learn the new game that he wants to teach us?" Well, that little pep talk worked, and soon the students were up and all starting to grab the paddles and the balls, and they were starting to give pickleball a chance. Bravo was so happy. He knew that his fellow classmates would have fun if they would just give it a try and actually play the game. After just a few minutes, Coach divided them up into two sides and let everyone try to get the ball over the net. He kept the net a bit higher than it would be, just to give them a chance to see how hard they had to hit the ball to get it over. The students were really having fun and enjoying their new game, and Bravo could not be happier to see his classmates having so much fun with this new game. Well, they were having so much fun, they didn't even realize it was almost time for gym class to be over, and soon they'd have to head back to their classroom. Bravo himself was having so much fun, he wished they could play all day, but he knew they only had 30 minutes and then back to class they had to go. What great fun pickleball turned out to be. The students and Bravo played as long and as hard as they could until it was time to head back to the locker room and then back to their classroom. Back in the locker room, everyone was excitedly chatting about what they learned and how much fun pickleball was. They all hoped that they could play again in the next gym class. Well, Bravo said, "I'm going to ask Coach to see if we can play this game again. I'm sure he'll let us since we learned so much and he saw how much fun we had. All we have to do is show Coach that we are willing to try something new and that we appreciate him for showing us." While the rest of the students got ready to line up, Bravo asked the coach if he and his classmates would ever be able to play pickleball again. "I sure hope we can play it again," Bravo said, "because so many of my classmates learned a lot today. Not only did they learn how to play a new game, but they also learned that trying something new, even if you're scared or uncertain about it, is a great way to learn new things and overcome your fear." The coach listened to Bravo and he knew that all of the students had a great time in gym today and that, yes, they did learn a big lesson. Coach bent down and he was so happy to say, "We will be playing pickleball for the whole month." And he gave Bravo a high five. "We have a lot more to learn about the game, and I see how much fun everyone had once they gave it a try." Bravo was so happy. "Awesome," he said. "Thank you. I can't wait to tell my classmates." As the students met their teacher and headed back to class, it was very hard to use zero voices in the hallway. Everyone was so excited to tell the teacher what they had learned. And Bravo was excited to tell his classmates that they were going to be able to play pickleball for the whole month. As soon as they got back to class and the teacher called on Bravo to share his good news, the students cheered with delight. They were so happy that they had tried pickleball, learned a new sport, and had given it a chance. They were also very happy that they were brave enough to learn something new. So remember the lesson from Bravo and his classmates today. Trying something new can feel scary, but that doesn't mean it's not worth giving a try. We hope you've enjoyed this story of Bravo and his classmates going to physical education class. Stay tuned for more adventures of Bravo and watch all of the other videos on Bravo's YouTube channel. Here's your discussion questions. Remember, you can comment on the video or you can email Bravo for a chance to win a Bravo of your very own.